Colleen Williams Rennie is a native of Trinidad. She is a best-selling author, speaker, mother of four boys, wife, educator, soccer coach, and advocate of domestic violence and sexual abuse. Coming from an abusive past herself, she picked up the pieces of her broken heart and used her past experiences to educate individuals of all ages. She spent the past 20 years traveling to jails, prisons, battered women's shelter, advocating for domestic violence victims, educating them about the red flags, safety tips and living, and most importantly, knowing their worth. Everything that was meant to break her only built her up stronger than before. She's moving forward towards her purpose and breaking down doors that she thought were closed. She has been featured in numerous magazines and done interviews about her fight to put an end to domestic violence. When she's not writing, she loves to read and travel. And on today's episode of Auto Interview, it's a pleasure to have Colleen Williams Rennie on the show. Welcome on the show, Colleen.
Hello, how are you, Peter?
Yeah, I'm doing very fine. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Colin, tell us about your book, If These Walls Could Talk. I particularly love the name of the title, which to me sounds a bit, poetic and a bit quite deep. Wanted me to want to find out what exactly inspired this. How does this book come about? What inspired you to write If These Walls Could Talk?
So the book is not my book. It's
Oh,
complied. It's by Latoya Nicole, and she's the one that got all us women together to do an anthology.
oh wow.
So the anthology is called If These Walls Could Talk, and it's like I think it's 13 or 15 women. If I'm wrong, sorry. But we all came together to tell our story, what happened inside those walls.
Mm,
So my story is decades of damage, and you have to get the book. But my story is basically, when you're a child and you're being raised in the islands in the West Indies, you have to do what your parents tell you to do. And some parents are very strict. So I was raised, my parents were just, I don't know the word. They were just in their own way. So I had to do what they want me to do. And even as I get older, they just kept living their ways through me.
wow.
So it was abuse. It was just, there wasn't parents. They would just do this, do that. You had to do this, you had to do that. They never liked me. Well, my mom never liked me because I looked like my dad. So
Wow.
it was just back and forth, back and forth. And it was like when I turned 49, I'm 50 now, but when I turned 49, I just had enough. And I was like, you know what? I have to tell my story because I couldn't keep going through life. People don't understand why I don't like my mom. It's not like I just don't like her. It's just I couldn't take the control. I couldn't take the abuse.
Mm,
And although the Bible says, you have to honor your mother and your father, the Bible also says when your mother and your father forsake you, God will take you. So it was just that was my time to write Decades of Damage. And since that book has been out, everybody understand where I was coming from. It's not, oh, she hates her mother.
mm.
Now they understood why I feel the way I feel about my mom. Because she just wanted
Oh,
to continue controlling me. I wasn't gonna let that happen.
wow. That sounds quite deep and kind of thought-provoking, and something that I would really love to pick up eventually. Thank you so much for shedding more light. Now, I also see that you have another book titled The Secret My Mother Kept. For
Yeah.
readers who haven't get to experience the book yet, and without giving much information away, could we have a sneak of what I'd expect picking up The Secret My Mother Kept?
So that book has not been out yet. That's coming very soon.
Okay.
And The Secret My Mother Kept is my real life story about the secret that my mother really kept.
Mm,
Again, people don't see me with my mother. Mother's Day, I don't celebrate Mother's Day. I don't like Mother's Day. I don't like anything with mother or going to I just don't because everybody has a mother and I don't. So basically, I was my mom left me in an orphanage, and I didn't know. And just as the years, as I'm getting older, it's a new lie and a different lie and a different story. But the reason why I wrote that book, because 2021, my father died.
Oh,
And I went to the funeral. And I'm like, you know what? I just got upset because growing up, my mother would be like, okay, well, this is your father. So I respected him. And then when she doesn't get her way, that's not my father. So here comes another man. And it's like, and I'm only going by what my mother taught me. So it's like my mother lied to me and I'm lying to my son. So it was when 2021 came, I was like, you know what? I gotta find out the truth. None of these men were even my father. They just wasn't. It was a man she married or whatever her situation was. She enforced that on me. So I just wanted to let her know, like, listen, I know your games. I know what you're doing. So she kept a secret this long. I'm 50, she's 72.
wow.
And it's like, I just had to let her know, like, listen, I already know. I guess she didn't want me to know, but I needed to know because I got to teach my son something because he's still asking. My son is 27 and he's asking, so who's my granddad? And I'm like, well, so I told him, 2 weeks ago? It's not like I want to lie to you. I'm just telling you what I know. And I didn't want my son to grow up with lies.
Mm.
So I just put pen to paper and I just wrote down every single thing from being in an orphanage, being left for dead. She just left me and never told me why. So I just had to write that. And I did send out a couple of drafts to other people just to see, and it really touched their heart because
Mm.
now they're not looking at me as I'm this bitter woman who hates her mother. It's not that. It's just she kept all these secrets, and it ain't a secret no more. So
Mm. Wow, that's quite a lot to take in, Like your book sounds very
it
deep
is.
and it sounds like a very
Yeah.
interesting memoir. Actually love reading memoirs. I love reading real life stories. And your one sounds like something that will pull me into some emotion. I love some emotional stuff. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I'm hopeful that we have some viewers who will be interested in picking up a copy. That'll be great. Also, I want to ask
Oh,
you,
definitely.
yeah, I also want to ask you, Colin, as authors, we all have different ways of reacting to feedbacks and criticism of our works. I'm curious to know your opinion about negative criticism. How do you react to negative criticism of your books if you've ever had one in time past?
I've had a lot of negative criticism. I'm not even a new author. I've been writing for years. It's just because I write real life stories, people don't pay that any attention. Like I write from my heart, I write what happened to me. I can only write what I know. So I got a lot of negative criticism. People feel, and I know these two books, people are going to be upset. But how long are we going to keep being quiet for
Mm,
them to be happy? You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not just going to be like, how long am I going to keep quiet? Somebody has to know. So I got a lot of negative criticism. You should have never wrote that. You should have never said that. But you
Mm,
know what? I look at the positive, and I've helped a lot of women. I helped a lot of people confronting their mother, speaking to their mother. And I'm happy as long as I say, how do I say it? As long as I can save one person or I can reach one person, I did my job.
well, that's amazing. That's very amazing. I really love the sound of your book. It might be of a particular book, but I can't remember the title of the book currently. I think I forgot the name of the title. I think there's a book called I Am Happy My Mother Died, stuff like that. Or I think I saw something like that
Yes,
on
I saw
Amazon.
it.
Oh, really?
I
You know
saw it.
about the book?
Yes, yes,
I know I have
yeah.
a title. I know I've seen a title like that. I'm
Hmm.
happy my mother. I'm even checking it on Google currently. And I was like, oh my God, oh yeah, I just see it now. A heartbreaking and hilarious memoir by Akali and Sam and Kat Star. So it reminds me of this particular read. But then I will have to pick up the book and eventually read it. I'm just quite curious. I'm really, you know, captivated by all of your description. Now, I also want to ask you, Colin,
Yes.
as a victim of domestic violence and abuse, I'm curious to know, to ask you how much of your life is reflected in your writing. Would you love to talk about that as well?
My entire life is my writing because I've been a
Well,
victim since I was 23. So
well,
every relationship I've been in has turned out to be domestic violence. And that's why I write, because when I wake up in the morning, I thank God that I'm alive. I thank God he saved me. And there's so many other women I know that's no longer here. I
mm,
actually count, and like in Trinidad, I've lost over 50 women from domestic violence.
well,
So my books are about my pain, my story. It could have been me at any time. This Thursday that's coming up will make it 2 years. That was my last domestic violence relationship. So it's like, it's still fresh. I'm happily married, but it's still there. Like,
I
you're
understand.
gonna remember that. You're
Mm.
gonna remember those days. So I write about my pain. And I know if I can get out, I know I'm trying to help a lot of women get out as well.
Well, that's great. That's quite deep. And I understand that, it's like a stigma that kind of stays, something you're trying to heal, like a wound in someone's heart and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, absolutely. Now, as a writer of memoir, I know that there might be some times you feel some challenges and difficulties writing up the book. I'm just curious to know if you experience any challenges while writing your book. If there is any, could you share with us what challenge it is and how you ultimately overcame it?
My challenges, again, I wasn't scared, but the way the American law is, you got to
Mm,
watch what you say, because what I wrote as I'm speaking today, a couple of the my vic my I was a victim. A couple of my abusers are still doing time.
wow.
So you got to like be careful what you say.
Absolutely.
And I change up all the names. So like, so it's like you just got to, the challenges were, I didn't care. And it's not like I'm trying to show off that I was abused. I'm letting you know, be careful of these type of men. I'm teaching women, don't you got to go. Don't be like me. I'm always trying to fix somebody. I'm always
Mhm.
trying to help somebody. But while I'm helping them, they're damaging me and breaking me down.
Wow.
So it was just like, I did get challenges, but at the end of the day, as long as I can do my part, as long as I'm happy and I'm helping one woman out of a domestic violence relationship, then I'm fine.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's quite amazing. And I know that there might be some things, especially when you're writing a non-fiction, in terms of challenges you want to encounter. You being careful of what you want to say, be careful of how
Yeah.
the words, stuff like that. That's why sometimes I always feel quite elated and absolutely surprised by the level of truthiness that are being conveyed through some memoirs that I've read. I'm like, how can somebody write that thing? How did these people react to it? How did this look like? I was like, oh wow, that's quite brave. That's amazing. That's great to do
Exactly.
that, you know, especially when
I'm
it has to
just
do with
raw. You just write it as it
non-fiction.
is.
Mm,
You just tell your story.
yeah. Now, I want to ask you, Colin, apart from If This World Could Talk and from Beta and The Secret My Mother Kept, do you have any other works you've authored or currently working on?
So I have Stop, and that's all about domestic violence and sexual abuse. I'm putting all my new work back out. I also have Blinded by Love. And the reason why I named that, because I am a domestic violence advocate, and
Mm.
I was actually teaching women while I was in it. So at
Oh,
the same time, I was actually blinded, and I didn't even know, but I'm over here teaching women to know their worth, and I didn't even know my own worth.
wow.
So I was actually blinded by love. Stop. I have From Bitter and Broken to Beautiful and Blessed. It's where I came from to where I am right now. But all my works are being done over because I'm just going a different direction with that. So I'm just writing them over with more. more to say, and just a different avenue I'm heading down. My head is on straight now. So last time I went in blind. I just went in. Now I know the ropes. I understand this industry. So now I'm doing it better.
Hmm.
Coming back stronger.
Yeah. This is amazing. I really love your sound of your books. They sound very interesting to me. Now, I also want to ask you,
Thank
Colin,
you.
could you tell us what publishing is like for a published author like yourself? What are the challenges you've encountered in terms of marketing your books? And what are the medium you've utilized so far in promoting your books?
Ugh, the publishing for me, I can speak for myself, it's been extremely hard because I spent thousands of dollars with different publishing companies where they just took my money. I never got a royalty check. They just promised so much. I tried self-publishing, but I didn't get further anywhere with that. But when you it depends who you go with. You gotta like know who you're working with, ask a
Mm,
bunch of questions. You gotta treat your book like it's your brand new baby. It's
mm,
yours. You gotta ask questions. If you don't understand that, just keep asking around. This is what I want to do. So that's why I'm doing all my books over, because I'm under a new publishing company where I spoke to her. We talk every day, text, phone call, emails, and I need to know what's going on. We agreed on what percentage. So now I'm not going in blind like I did before. So
mm.
that's why nobody knows about me, because I just wrote a book and I just sent it out. They took the book, they took the royalties, they took the copyright, and I didn't know nothing. But so publishing is kind of hard. But once you know what you're doing and you get with the right people, it can be easy.
Wow, that's great. I love your opinion about that. And I also want to ask you, is there anything that you love to share with the viewers about your books that we couldn't mention in this interview? And I'd love the viewers to know.
My book, everything I write is real. It's raw. It's nothing made up. And back to If These Walls Could Talk, I feel much better that that book is out, because now I can walk the streets and then they're like, okay, now I understand you. Now people are relating to me who had their wall up before. So now, oh, okay, I understand. I get emails, I get side notes. I'm getting a lot of feedback
Wow.
because they just thought I was an angry Black woman, but I
Mm.
write everything from my heart, my true feelings. Nothing is made up, just the dates and the times, and that's it. But it's just me, and I just have to tell it like it is.
That's amazing. That's quite great to know. I was going to ask you, Colin, as a published author, what sort of advice do you have for other writers who are still struggling with publishing a book like yours? What would you tell people in this category?
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. If this is something that you want to do, you keep going. Don't
Mm,
ever give up. Don't listen to anybody else. This is your goal. This is your dream. Don't
absolutely.
listen to what somebody else is gonna tell you, because they haven't walked in your shoes. Everybody got a story to tell, so
Absolutely.
let your story be heard.
Mm.
It's true. Especially the thing with me, I target a lot of islanders because I know what it's like to be one. So coming
Wow.
into this world, what I'm saying? They don't understand us. They don't understand our language. They don't understand our heritage. They don't understand a lot of things. So let them know who we are and why we are the way we are.
Mm.
So keep writing and don't ever give up.
Wow, that's great. That's quite amazing. I really love the sound of your book. I really do love the sound of
Thank
your
you.
book. At this point, I would love to ask you, on what platform can viewers, in case we have viewers who are interested in getting a copy, on what platform is it available on for purchase?
My book, If These Walls Could Talk, is available on my Facebook page, Colleen Williams Rennie. It's also on Instagram, author Colleen Williams Rennie. And there's a link right there, or Colleen Williams Rennie Payhip. The book will be there. I do have autograph copies that, like, they can contact me and I can autograph it. And I also send a little gift,
Mm,
and of course you're gonna get one, don't worry. So I send a little gift as well to them, but the
mm.
autograph copies are one thing. And I also, these are $15. because I got to pay for shipping and handling as well.
Mm.
And then they also have the PDF file that they can get for $9.99 on my site, payhip.com.
That's great. And I've left a link in the description part of this interview to the Porsche's page where you can get a copy of Colin's books directly. So thank you so much, Colin, for accepting the invitation to be featured on P English Literature. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I do appreciate you. I will be getting your address and I will be sending your book out to you on Monday.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Yeah.